Implementing Agile in one part of the business alone can actually do more harm than good to the business as a whole. I'm going to have a look at that today. Failing to implement Agile throughout the organisation can lead to a failed transformation entirely. This is our sin number 2. This occurs because in every organisation you've got this these two counter pressures between looking at and managing and performing locally or looking at and managing and performing globally. We tend to err on locally because local people know better what's going on there, and it's a lot easier to measure and manage performance in isolation. Whereas global is really what we want to be focused on, because businesses, they have global objectives, profits global, all of the goals of the organization are global, and they're broken down to be more manageable by local areas. But the real focus is on the global performance. Where Agile can sometimes go into a local area and damage global area is when you've already got some issues between local and global. We looked at it in the previous video, the issues between, say, the development side of the organization and the commercial arm. If there's already a rift here in the way things are managed, the way measures are done, the way performance is considered, going off and implementing something all new and different in one area is going to exacerbate those issues rather than actually help them. So what you need to do instead is consider, is there this rift and does it need to be handled? You don't need to put Agile in, Agile is by definition Agile. Putting in the mechanisms themselves sort of aggressively into one area and trying to cut off the rest of the business is going to make your situations worse, and you need to consider how can we adapt those to our organization so that the individual teams implementing Scrum or sprints or whatever it is are actually contributing to the goal of the organization. You're not going off and doing those by yourself. Now, of course, if all you're doing is managing the team's work separately as a sprint rather than some other mechanism, and other than that, nothing else has changed, well, I mean, that's not really an Agile transformation anyway, so that's a different issue. But if you do want a successful Agile transformation and you have found that it's failing because of the conflict between the global measures which aren't matching with what you want to put in as Agile and the local measures that are all around Agile, what you need to do is you need to work out the differences between those two and line them up. You need to implement Agile in such a way that it helps the company achieve its objective and goals, not in a way that just puts a bigger rift between operations and the planning and management side of it. So there you go. You need to consider those two. Everybody needs to come together and actually find a way for it to help the organization as a whole, not to be an isolated thing that just looks good for one team. If you found this video useful, make sure to share it with others who can get value from it too. Don't forget to say hi in the comments below. Love to hear from you, and subscribe so you don't miss out on more of these each day. Cheers. See you later.